Good morning, grade 9 students! Welcome to another fun and exciting day to learn science. Today, we're going to discuss about cellular respiration as well as the similarities and differences of it compared to photosynthesis. It is found on most essential learning competencies crafted by the Department of Education. Today's objectives are: first, describe the parts of the mitochondria. Next, explain and describe Krebs cycle and electron transport chain. And lastly, differentiate photosynthesis and respiration in terms of cell structures involved, raw materials and products, and energy requirements. Your attentive participation is highly needed in this lesson. Also, please prepare a pen or pencil as well as your notebook to take down notes on this lesson. To begin, let us have a short recap of the previous lesson's main idea. Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants and some other organisms, particularly microorganisms, uses sunlight to synthesize or create their own food from carbon dioxide and water. It also generates an oxygen as a waste product that we need for our survival. It happens in an organelle located in the cells of plants and some other microorganisms like algae and euglena. It is called chloroplast, which absorbs sunlight to create its own food. Chloroplast usually looks like this. The upper one is a microscopic view of the plant cell with chloroplast, while the lower one is the detailed view of the chloroplast. Always remember that chloroplast is an organelle found in the plant cell and eukaryotic algae that conducts photosynthesis. Chloroplast absorbs sunlight and uses it in conjunction with water and carbon dioxide gas to produce food for the plant. Also, chlorophyll is different from chloroplast, wherein chlorophyll is the part of chloroplast and is the light-absorbing pigment, which provide green color to the plants. But chloroplast traps the solar energy, which is the site of photosynthesis and other chemical reactions, and works as the powerhouse of the cell for plants like mitochondria. If photosynthesis in plants happens in this organelle, how about in animal cells? Very good. It happens on a specific organelle located in our cells called mitochondria or mitochondrion in singular form. This organelle is also known as the powerhouse of the cell because it creates or generates ATP or adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy currency inside our cell. Our mitochondria are made of two membranes called outer and inner membranes. The outer membrane covers and contains the whole organelle, while the inner membrane folds and creates layered structures called cristae. Also, the mitochondria not only generate energy for the entire cell, but also have their own DNA and ribosomes floating in the fluid-like substance called matrix. Amazing, right? Always remember those four main parts. The outer membrane, which covers the entire organelle. Inner membrane that folds the organelle and creates cristae, which is the site for chemical reactions and creation of ATP. Same goes with matrix, which is the fluid-like substance inside the organelle. Mitochondria is the counterpart of chloroplast for animal cells. Also, mitochondria or mitochondrion is defined as a membrane-bound cell organelle that generate most of the chemical energy needed to power the cell's biochemical reactions. Chemical energy produced by the mitochondria is stored in a small molecule called adenosine triphosphate or ATP. If photosynthesis is the plant's processing of energy and food, how about in animals? Yes, it's called cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is the process of harvesting ATP or adenosine triphosphate from the food we eat. Also, cellular respiration is what cell does to break down sugars from the food we eat. Yes, you heard it right. Sugar. It's because most of what we eat contains sugar. Cellular respiration has three stages: the glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain, or ETC for short. And each stage produces an energy called ATP. Let us find out how many ATPs are produced in each stages. The first stage is called glycolysis. It happens in the cytosol or cytoplasm of the cell, just outside the mitochondria. In this process, one glucose molecule is needed. It contains 6 carbon atoms that we will represent as gray circles. One glucose molecule is broken down into 3 carbon molecules called PGAL or phosphoglyceraldehyde. The 2 PGAL molecules go through a series of chemical reactions and produces 2 pyruvic acids. In this stage, the glycolysis produces 4 ATPs for every 1 molecule of glucose. Again, 4 ATPs for every 1 molecule of glucose, or 4:1. However, 2 ATPs were used to break down glucose to PGAL. So, 2 ATPs are left and will be the final output. In this stage, we also produce 2 electron carriers called NADH or nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. The pyruvic acid produced during glycolysis proceeds to a series of chemical reactions called citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle. This stage was named after Hans Krebs. This process happens inside the mitochondria, specifically in the matrix of the organelle. Each molecule of pyruvic acid combines, forming acetyl-CoA or acetyl coenzyme A and releasing carbon dioxide in the process. Acetyl-CoA combines with another compound, forming citric acid. Citric acid is continuously broken down in Krebs cycle. The breaking apart of citric acid releases carbon dioxide as a waste product. During the Krebs cycle, high-energy electrons are transported to electron carriers, where 8 nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, or we will just call it NADH for short, and 2-flavine adenine dinucleotide, or FADH2, were produced. We also produce 2 ATPs after 2 rounds of Krebs cycle. This is how cyclic pattern works in Krebs cycle. Again, after 2 rounds in this stage, we gain 2 ATPs and an electron carriers called FADH2 and NADH. Now, question. What does FADH2 mean? You have 15 seconds to answer it on the comment box. Time is up. If you answered flavine adenine dinucleotide, very good. The last stage of cellular respiration is called electron transport chain, or ETC. In this stage of cellular respiration, we can produce a huge amount of energy, or ATP. It happens when the electron carriers, the NADH and the FADH2, transport the high-energy electrons they possess to the inner layer membrane of mitochondria, called cristae. If you notice, the total number of NADH and FADH2 produced in glycolysis and Krebs cycle is 10 and 2 respectively. These carriers contain high-energy electrons which are passed from one molecule to ETC. Now, let us calculate. Glycolysis have 2 ATPs. Krebs cycle have 2 ATPs as well. Under ETC, we have 10 NADH, wherein for every 1 NADH, there are 3 ATPs. Since we have 10 NADH, we will just multiply it by 3. For that, it will give us, comment your answer now. Very good. We have 30 ATPs. And lastly, for every 1 FADH2, there are 2 ATPs. Therefore, how many ATPs do we have in FADH2? Comment your answer now. Very good. We have 4 ATPs. In grand total, we have a net ATPs of blank. How many ATPs do we have? Correct. We have 38 ATPs in just one cycle of cellular respiration. And also, remember this thing. Glycolysis happens in the cytoplasm. Krebs cycle happens in the matrix of the mitochondria. And lastly, the ETC, or the electron transport chain, happens on the cristae. Okay? Don't forget those ideas. From the input, or rather, cellular respiration produces 3 different products. Don't forget that. From an input of glucose, or C6H12O6, and 6 molecules of oxygen, it will lead to 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 6 molecules of water, and of course, an energy called ATP. Photosynthesis is also working that way. It needs an input of 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 6 molecules of water, and an energy from sunlight. It yields to an output of glucose and 6 molecules of oxygen. Have you noticed something? Answer it on the comment box. Very good. If you haven't noticed yet, here it is. The input of photosynthesis is our output for cellular respiration, as well as our input in cellular respiration is originally the output of photosynthesis. What does it mean? Do you have any ideas? Correct. It only means that animals and us, humans, needs plants, and same goes with plants. Plants also needs us in order to start its photosynthesis. To sum up everything, let us compare the two by this way. Photosynthesis happens at chloroplast, while cellular respiration happens at mitochondria. Our input for photosynthesis are water, carbon dioxide, and energy from the sun, while in cellular respiration, we need glucose and oxygen. The product or output of photosynthesis are glucose and oxygen, while in cellular respiration, we have water, energy, and carbon dioxide. How about the energy sources? The energy sources of photosynthesis is the sunlight, while for cellular respiration, it is from the chemical bonding. Energy from photosynthesis will be stored for the future use, while energy from cellular respiration will be released. Easy, right? Now, let us check how you understand the lesson today. I will give you 30 seconds to key in your answer in the comment section. Are you ready? Before we start, I encourage everyone to answer the following questions in the comment box. I know you can do that because every student here in the vibrant city of Valenzuela is clever. Ready? Here it is. The first question. What do we call this organelle found on animal cells which is responsible for cellular respiration? Time is running. Key in your answers now. Still have time. Finalize now your answers. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up. If you answered mitochondria, well, you get it right. How about this one? What do we call this organelle found on plant cell which is responsible for photosynthesis? Time is running. Key in your answers now. You still have time. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up. If you choose chloroplast, very good. How about this statement? C6H12O6 and 6 molecules of oxygen are the main ingredients or input for blank. Time is running. Comment your answers now. Still have time. Still have time. Time up! If you answered cellular respiration, excellent. See, I know you can do it. Question number 4. C6H12O6 is known as blank. Time is running. You can still answer it. You still have time. Time up. Of course, the answer is glucose. Very good, grade 9 students. Question number 5. 6 molecules of water and 6 molecules of carbon dioxide and blank are our input to start photosynthesis. Hurry, still have time. Finalize your answers now. Time up. The answer should be light energy. But if you answered chemical bonds, don't worry. You can still try. Next question. How many ATP or ATPs was produced in a whole cycle of cellular respiration? Time is running. Still have time. Five seconds. Time up. It is a tricky. Well, the answer is 38. If you got it, very good. And for the last question, ATP stands for what? Time is running. Hurry, you still have time. 10 seconds. Time up. The correct answer is adenosine triphosphate. Congratulations, grade 9 students. Good job. Now, for our Q&A, I will be giving you 1 minute to key in on the comment section your queries or clarification on what we have discussed today. Time up. Let me read some questions. Here. What food do we need to eat to supply the glucose for cellular respiration? Actually, as what I said a while ago, almost all the food that we eat contains glucose. Meaning to say, whatever we eat, it will give us glucose that eventually will be converted into ATPs that we need. But if you want an additional glucose to generate more ATPs, try to eat more veggies and fruits rather than meat, because plants are the main source of glucose. For second question, that one. How many mitochondria are there in our cells? This is a tricky one. Wait, I need my calculator. Okay, now, let us compute. Approximately, there are 5 to 6 mitochondria in one cell. If there are approximately 10 raised to 16th power cells in our body, I repeat, 10 raised to 16th power, that is 10 followed by 16 zeros, multiply by 5. We have a very big number that you wouldn't even imagine. That's why we can move our bodies at any ease. For third question, does plants have mitochondria? Same goes with animals. Do animal cells have chloroplasts? Plants do have mitochondria and chloroplasts, which generates energy and food for plants. But animal cells only have mitochondria alone. That's why we are not green in color just like leaves. Remember that leaves becomes green because of chlorophyll found on chloroplasts. Learning this topic is easy, right? If you learned something in this lesson, let us know on the comment section together with a hashtag aghammasayang matuto and the name of your school. I will give you 2 minutes for that. 2 minutes, that should be starts now. You will just share your thought, your insight, or what you have learned this day. We, your teachers, are happy to read about it. We are happy to read that you learn everything, even in this time of pandemic. This is your virtual teacher. Thank you for watching and for your active participation. Till next time.